So,
Welcome, everyone.
No. I was starting this in a very deliberate way.
Okay, cool. Carry on then.
I managed to break a nail while putting deodorant on. So that's how my days go.
Me too. Me too.
Sad. So sad. Can't actually see it because of my ring light, but whatever. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday lunch, tea, breakfast time podcast, depending on where you are in the world. Adam always likes us to say our names, even though you should know by now, right? That you probably know. Welcome to Off Meta. I'm Hayley. We also have Adam and Tyler with us today. Oh, wait, waving? Oh my God. I showed you my finger. What? That's enough, right? You are muted.
Not for some people, maybe, but not for me. For me, I need a whole wave.
So, first of all, if you're here on Twitch, we would love it if you had a YouTube account, if you could go and watch us on YouTube, because, you know, that's good for us. We don't get money from Twitch. We do that so you don't have to watch ads on Twitch. But
that's youtube.com/offmetaplays if you're interested in the address.
Oh yeah, that's probably
you can have us,
right?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
And then they can have both going at the same time. Mute one, run the other. That's fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thanks to Theo G. Carrot for the follow yesterday. That was nice of him. And Lavinian. I'm going to say, Rincodons, you are a blessed being.
Rhino.
Leaving one of our videos to watch this particular video.
You know, I've read that as Rhino. Right,
oh,
but it's
okay.
not. But it's not because there's a C there.
There's a C. Rhinco.
Rhincodonas.
You wrote, that was definitely not that.
I think
was
it
gonna
is.
Say we should have made Adam read that one out because he would have nailed it for sure.
First time. I did nail it first time. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so rude.
I like your unearned confidence.
Unearned? Wow.
Yeah.
Have you met me?
Yes.
My confidence is completely earned. I'm a white man.
Oh my God.
All right.
You're that meme. You're the walking meme of the confidence of a mediocre white man.
I love you too, baby. What are we reviewing today?
Quite dark. What are we doing today? Wow.
So many things to talk about today.
Right?
So many very things that we have them in a list. Isn't that great?
I wrote that list and I'd already forgotten that we had that.
Yeah, that's what I'm here to remind you of lists y'all wrote.
Are they alphabetical? If they were alphabetical, then Hayley would remember them. Hey, Dole, welcome. Thank you for watching on YouTube, and thank you for putting a comment on there in the YouTubes. Thank you.
In the whole YouTubes?
All of YouTubes. Everyone in YouTubes has a comment about Off Meta now, thanks to Dole.
Let's get to disagreeing. Heck yeah.
The first thing we will all agree on, though, is that today is the 8th birthday of Blood on the Clocktower. One of the things that brought us all together. I wouldn't know Hayley and Adam if it weren't for Blood on the Clocktower. I wouldn't know most of the fine people in Off Meta. Maybe one or two would I know otherwise. And so how thankful am I that this game came around, especially during the COVID period. Obviously, we're still in. COVID is still active. I'm not COVID denied. Yes, it's still happening.
The way people are outside, I wouldn't have known.
COVID. It's a different time, though. We all know that in the quarantine days, I think for a lot of us, Clocktower was our lifeline. Thank you so very much. 8th birthday of that. Big thank you to Steve and Evan and Andy. I wish we'd have been there for the big cake and the whole shebang.
Good.
Looks so good.
Was it a cake? I thought they just did cookies.
Yeah.
They had cookies and cakes.
As well.
That's what happens when you're very fit Australians and you run most of the time. When you have celebrations, you can have cake and cookies.
If we had more animals here trying to kill us all the time as well, we'd be running all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Being in Australia, apparently. All right. This is good. This is good. So happy birthday, Clocktower. Whoop.
Yes. And it's honestly been life-changing for all of us, I think. I can speak for Tyler, but I certainly
definitely can for Tyler.
So it's I don't even know where to start with how life-changing it has been. I could gush for hours, truly, about Clocktower. It is a beautiful game. It really is. It brings people together while also like fighting each other. We've made some of the best friends that I think we've made in a long time just because we play Clocktower with them.
Some of the best friends, and also Ben.
Ben, which Ben are you talking about? There are
Whoever
so
it is.
many Bens that we know
Let them
through
decide which
Clocktower.
Ben he hates the most.
Man, seriously, what a great day. What a great game to like. Haley's right. We've met so many great people thanks to it. So I was in chat. So many great. Ben, you're in the wrong chat. Get onto the YouTube. Stop being in this one. No, in all seriousness, it's been really great. And you're right. We've met so many great people, including so many of the people in chat already that have already said hi and stuff. It's really good to see you all. God, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
happy birthday, Clocktower. So I made a cake for this occasion last year for our 7th birthday, and we ran some in-person Clocktower. It wasn't as good as the one that they posted on their social media today. Let's just say that.
Andy was polite to us, said that's really cute, but we both know what she was
Yeah.
really thinking. But in all seriousness,
what a hot mess, Hayley.
we unfortunately are not playing Clocktower today because we are in lockdown in preparations for the one, the only, the Gen Con. Gen Con, can't wait for it. It's for Hayley at least, and I don't mean to speak for Tyler again, but Tyler is in lockdown because we tell him to be.
That's right.
Tyler, lockdown.
I allow y'all to speak for me and lock me down at a moment's notice. That's the nature of our relationship.
That's his
Aren't
kink.
I lucky?
Yeah. So
I'm glad Hayley could talk about Clocktower and gush about it for hours because we literally have a podcast on the subject and run a couple other shows a week centered around it. So that's good. That's good. I like that, that she's got that in her chamber. But yeah, it's I think it is very much an understatement to say that it has been a big part of my life for the last couple years. And then with that, you know, there's been so many great relationships and bonds and just experiences that we've had through this. And now that's why we're doing this channel, because we were brought together from it. And if I had a cake for it, I'd look at it very sternly and say, "You're a good-looking cake," and then not eat it. So I'm here for that.
just put it in the freezer so your children can slowly eat it over time.
Slowly eat it over time. Hey, just handfuls. This is real life experience. Adam knows my life history.
All right.
Oh man! Oh, people in YouTube chat want to know when we're going to the Connecticut meetup. I've been promising you that for years, haven't I?
You know, I tell
When
you what,
Harrison returns to
let's
Connecticut,
get it
the
done
Birches
this
will
time.
arrive in there.
Yeah, right.
you know, Doug, I believe Palace is coming over soonish, and we'll make the trip up especially for that. But also, I will make a guarantee that we will come sometime after Gen Con, because we have a couple of months. Like, we're really excited. We've got in New York, we're going to start running games one posting in. We've got venues lined up. We have to start posting. On our Discord server, we've had about 4 or 5 hours sleep basically over the last 4 days. It has been so stressful for us. But we are here and we love you all, and we are looking forward to what's coming next. Well, not next, but the next after the next bit is what I'm super excited about.
Have you got the image? Can you show them what you have done? I was going to say we, but
We have
you've
not.
put all of the time into creating this off-meta playroom, you know, in honor of Clocktower's birthday, and also off-meta being amazing.
No, I don't exactly have the image up, but give me 2 seconds and I will do. You keep filling.
I'll speak for Hayley when I say our contribution to this was us ruffling Adam's hair and patting him on the back and saying, "You're nailing it. You are nailing it." And hasn't been about it. This is a wonderful little piece that he's put together.
It's not even just so. I was like the test case for every single one of the little Easter eggs in here. Every now and then he'd shout from the other room, babe, come look at this, babe. And I'd go over and he's still got the playroom open in Photoshop. He's like, what have I added since last time you saw it? This has been happening for like 2 weeks at this point.
I've spent a good 3 days. Oh, play. I've spent a good 3 days doing nothing but working on this. Like actual 3 days in real time. I don't just mean like a 3-day window. Yeah. I'm saying 3 days of my life is spent working on this. And I'm really excited to show you guys, all of you, what it is. It is a piece of artwork. Inside this piece of artwork, are we talking about it yet? I don't remember where we are in the agenda. I think this comes at the end, right?
No, you said you were going to show it, and then we're going to tell them how they can get their hands on it if they'd like it down the road.
Well, if everyone's ready, I'm going to show it then.
Yeah. Show it.
For your awareness, everyone, this little piece of artwork that you're seeing now on the screen is the off-meta playroom. They can't see our faces, so you're all fine to start drinking and stuff. This is the off-meta playroom. This is the off-meta playroom. What happens on this off-meta playroom is it originally started as an idea for a thumbnail. This was originally going to be a thumbnail for a video, and I kept putting more and more little surprises in here. On this script, you can find 11 different references to off-meta's content. Some of them are going to be more obvious than the others, and there's going to be something like 50, it's 50 now, or 48 or something like that. Different Clocktower tokens are hidden inside this image. This is what we call the off-meta playroom. Hopefully you guys are going to get to enjoy it. What? Going to tell them how they're getting this? Remind me, what are we doing?
Yeah, so if you stay tuned to the end of this particular episode of the podcast, we'll tell you how you can get a print copy of all of this OM playroom.
For free? Basically, for free. Not charging you for it in any way, shape, or form.
That is probably the wrong expectation to set, considering how they get their hands on it. But yes, it is a fun little gift in exchange for something else we're going to be announcing today.
So with the agenda point,
though, should we do some of what we're supposed to do on these podcasts and maybe rank some characters?
Let's rank some roles.
Let's
B-tier.
Let's talk about the one, the only, the teddy bear of the thumbnail, the Pixie. You start knowing one in-play townsfolk. If you were mad that you were this character, you gain their ability.
Pixie.
All right. Well, I think I have alluded to this a few times in the run-up to this particular episode, how much I really love the Pixie, so this won't come as a surprise to anybody. I would say that there should be more instances of positive madness in the game. I love madness as a mechanic, so seeing a positive incentive madness is really great. It is really good for the good team. It can be played multiple different ways. However the Pixie player wants to do it, they can use their ability either as a pure info type of thing, like a kind of a washerwoman, or they can be redundant in that ability. So if it's a once per use ability, they can get the value out of that, or they can be a backup if someone takes out the real version or the original version of the role. So great for the good team, great for the evil team, because it really allows some double claims to slide by for a while in ways that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get without the madness, without the positive outcome as a result of it, without people feeling like, oh, this might confirm me, so I'm going to let it slide that they're claiming my role. That's really awesome for the evil team. It's a great bluff if they have it in their chamber. And it gives the storyteller a bit of agency too, because they get to decide who is the Pixie mad about, right? So you're getting to choose, who is going to get that kind of confirmation window and what role is going to be not protected, but kind of get an understudy in an important way. And so you can really frame your game that way. You can give the town a ton of power, or you can say, I'd rather them just know that this role is around and give them the use of it than giving them, the same powerful role over and over again. So for that reason, I would put it as an S tier. I just really love it.
I didn't even listen to anything of what you were saying there. I just sort of zoned out for a second because I knew it was all going to be good. It's powerful and it's balanced. Honestly, whoever designed this one knocked it out of the park.
If it's
Easy
powerful
S
and
tier.
balanced, it's not Steve that designed it, right? That's
it's, it's so good. Honestly, we really don't have to take turns to talk about this one. We can just. I'm using the word gosh a lot today, but we can just gush over it for 10 minutes. It's super S tier. Don't really have anything but good things to say about the Pixie. So, Adam, do you have anything bad to say about it?
nope. Pretty
Really?
sure. I was my notes in this were pretty sure everything that I want to say about this is going to be said. S in every category. So straight to S. Basically, like how we've said previously, the lead should be in BMR. Pixie should probably be in S to begin with. Fitting in perfectly in that script, and you could replace something. Oh, I would say the juggler.
Yeah.
Or the sage.
I think it might be better, honestly, considering how town heavy S&V is online. You could take your pick. You could do an online version with the Pixie where it replaces a high info role, and then in person where town needs the extra help. Replace one of the maybe a little less potent roles like the sage.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there really isn't any drawback to the Pixie at all, is there? In the preparation for this, I was racking my brains like, we've got to find something. We've got to find something.
All right,
to
then.
say.
You want something negative?
Do.
You want something negative? If you're a person that doesn't like madness and doesn't like madness, A, go back to werewolf, but B, Pixie might not be for you.
I think it is a different kind of madness from what people don't like about like Sarah Novus madness, because it is opt-in versus like if I opt out, I just die. Though that was the opt-out clause. I mean, like from Steven's point of view or Evan's point of view, right? Like, well, if you don't want to play madness, that's fine. You can just break it, and maybe you might keel over and die. Like that's not the end of the world. But for some people, that's really not as fun. But this is kind of an opt-in madness in a way that is, I think, much more enjoyable. And if you decide, I really think my madness is getting in the way of town solving this game, I can just be like, look, I don't think it's going to happen. I know that so-and-so is the Raven Keeper. That would be the only real downside of being the Pixie, is if you're being mad about something and then you get killed out of order before you get to use your ability, then it ends up not being as effective. But it's still effective even if that happens. So I don't know. It's just really good. It's a great role. Brings a lot of positive energy to the game.
So true. A lot of positive energy. I just want to shout out to Dole again, because he's saying there the way that we rank things: S tier for good, S tier for evil, S tier for storyteller. Let's rank it a B. So I think that we should just put it in B.
Dole did say that it was Tyler that does that, though, not anyone else on this stream.
Dole didn't say that.
Oh,
you said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misread it. But yeah, so there we go. So I think up next is a character I don't have the token ready for.
What? You haven't slept in days. How are you not ready?
I haven't fixed it. I'll do it when I finish talking. So yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so up next is the politician, which is not in your Kickstarter boxes. If you were the player most responsible for your team losing, you change alignment and win, even if dead.
What character was that again?
It's the politician.
The politician.
I don't have it made up for it. That's how much I think of the character.
It's got a flag.
We're not going to see politician this one. So out of all the characters that I could possibly get to talk about, this is the one I get lumped with this week as going first on. Thanks for that. We just had the Pixie. Tyler gets a beautiful bit where he gets to be complimentary and flowy about how wonderful certain characters can be, and I get this thing, this absolute piece of trash that shouldn't be in the game. Sorry, Steve. It's not that bad. I just don't like it. And I don't like it for a simple reason, is that almost no matter what, most storytellers make this thing win. You voted with evil at the end to win. Congratulations. That was it. You were people miss the point. It is, if you are most responsible, if you, the politician, are most responsible, and most storytellers miss it and don't run it that way. So for that reason, but it's also really difficult to run that way. How do you judge who's the most responsible when you get 5 people voting at the end? Like, that politician should be forced to put in some work if they want to go and play. Maybe that's unfair. Maybe that's unfair on them because there are other characters that don't have to put in the big work. If you get Mezephiles turned, you don't have to put in the big evil, whereas the politician does. But this is the reason I don't like it, and I don't like it because of the meta around how the politician works. The politicians should be untrusted because there's a chance they might be working for evil, in my opinion. Not untrusted because no matter what, they get to win with evil if they try or don't try. If they try and win with evil, the problem is, right, if they try and win with evil and evil doesn't win, oh well, I won with good. I guess that's fine. I guess I'll just carry on with my life. That's the problem that I've got with it. I can stop there. Well, no, okay, fine. I'll carry on. Fine.
Are you finished?
No. And this is coming from someone that likes to play Outed Evil, right?
Yeah.
As someone that likes to play Outed Evil, this still doesn't work for me. So therefore, done.
I should never ask him if he's finished again. Wait, and no.
And one other thing.
So I don't know the criteria under which Adam is working under, because it seems to be personal preference and like soundness of mechanics based. If I think by
look at those logical decisions that are being made. Sorry.
I understand. Hey, look, that's not how criteria work.
Give him the floor. Be a good storyteller.
By Jack's outsider litmus test, trademark pending. This has to, I mean, like, and I'm gonna peel back before people lose their fucking mind, just so you know, this has to be an S by that kind of criteria for the evil team. All right. But for a lot of the things that Adam's talking about, it's ambiguity of design. It causes a lot of frustrations for the players in terms of judging whether or not that alignment is changing, if it's valid in a way that other alignment changers don't. I think that brings it down. I think it needs it to be, it needs to bring some fun to the game in a way that it's not doing currently. It gets played a lot of times like an extra evil, when in reality, I think the politician should not be trusted by either side, right? If evil tries to coordinate with the politician, they just turn on the evil team, so the evil team can't rely on them. And then the good team can't really rely on them either. But at what point have you done enough to be the person most responsible? Can you ever be the most responsible? That language is very, very hard to parse. And like you said, like people judge it differently. Well, you did put the critical vote, or you did tie here. And I think that's a pretty good contribution. Does that make you most responsible? Well, it seems like it would make you 25% responsible, because there were 3 other votes that helped tie. But those are all things that I think take away from the fun, because people are being parsimonious about whether you won or not, right? And it's just this one person that everybody's sitting there going like, yeah, I get it. The evil team beat us, but this guy, he's an asshole, and I don't want it for him. And I just think that is counterproductive. And I think it could use some tuning on the language. But in terms of what it does for the evil team, it is a solid outsider. But I just think it should be brought down on that basis.
Wow. This is like a reverse shit sandwich. So I hate it. I really do. Some people love it. We have seen some good plays with it, to be fair. Marshall in the YouTube chat saying we saw Patters play it well a few weeks ago. It's true. I just don't. Everything has already been said by Adam about it, and kind of touched on by Tyler as well, really. But like maybe that's the point. Maybe we're all supposed to hate it because it's a politician and that's what we do. And if so, well, bravo, Steve. Like everybody hates it, except Tyler, apparently. I don't know. I am just going to be saying everything that these guys have already said. I really don't like the subjectivity of it. There's so much on the storyteller already. It's so difficult sometimes to be a storyteller, especially if you've got the kind of group that's, a little bit argumentative, let's say. It adds so much possibility of salty players. And that just doesn't feel fun for anybody. I don't know how that can possibly be fun for the politician either, to be like, oh, everybody hates me because the storyteller, judged that I was the one most responsible for my team losing, and now the whole good team hates me because I turned on them. Like, it's perfectly themed, right? It's a politician. It really is. It has the perfect name for it. I suppose it's a good bluff for evil to sow chaos around the town. It kind of, I don't even know that I would agree that it's S tier as an outsider though.
I mean, the way we see it, I mean, just the way we see it play, it's a bonus evil, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few politician who doesn't come up in an oracle reading, who doesn't show up in, you know, an empath. I mean, all those types of things. Like it's a hidden below the radar evil, essentially, for the way that most people play it. And you know, the thing is if you make the standard for the politician to be to get the win, to win with the evil team, then it takes all the teeth out of it, right? So if you're sitting there going like, well, I mean, I don't know if you did enough. Well, then nobody will ever play towards the politician's ability, and they'll just play for good. And it's just an outsider. It's just a role without any real power. I just think it needs to be kind of retuned for it to be functional, to work, to rework it a little.
Well, speaking of reworks, this is my proposal then for the rework. What I think
that's another show altogether.
What I think we should do. Well, we've talked about these before.
That's true.
So what I would recommend doing for the politician is something around them having to figure out who the evil team is to make their ability work. So what my proposal is you make them have to track their own voting, so that if they have ever voted on the demon, they can never turn evil and win with evil. So what this is going to cause the politician to do is have to play a little bit more sneaky and maybe give players more of a chance to figure out that they are the politician and if we do or don't trust them. So instead of it being a case where the politician just gets to win or lose no matter what, if they've ever voted on the demon, they never. Maybe change it so if they ever voted on evil, they never get to win with the evil team, right? Like you have now, thematically, you have now pissed off the demon. You have voted against him, or them, should I say, and they are now out. So they will kill you with the rest of town when they get the chance. So with that, I think that is the most logical sense. You make them track their own voting. It only takes one reminder token. The storyteller doesn't have to track a bunch of information. They only have to put it on as soon as they vote for like an evil person. Boop. It does prevent them from voting, but that is also a limitation of lots of other characters in this game, such as the butler, such as
they're outsiders,
such as the golem, etc. It aligns closer with those sorts of things. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sticking.
I like it being tied to voting. I mean, I understand that issue. It can also, I mean, is it too much to say it begins the game evil, and if it ever votes for an evil player, it becomes good? I don't know. Maybe that's too much. But I like it being tied to voting in some way. I think that's an interesting, and it ties thematically. I know I'm gonna be mocked for theming in a little while. Maybe not today. But the thematics of it, tying it to voting, I think is very helpful.
Well, it's like you voted on Jeff Bezos to not get his law passed, and now you don't get to get Jeff Bezos' endorsement next time you're running for government.
Giving you that cash.
So,
sweet money.
That's what it is. So do I hear myself? Yes. Either I've just, in my opinion, fixed the politician, or I've fixed Butler. Tyler, to your point, if it starts evil, I'm okay with that and turns good, but I don't think you should be allowed to find out if it's good, because otherwise you've just given a good player too much information and you've now voted on an evil player. That would be my one downside to what that. If you start out, you could choose, first day you get woken up, do you start good or evil? And never get to find out what your alignment is at the end of the game. I'd be okay with that too. If you ever vote on evil, you change to good. I'd be okay with that too.
Well, that ends up lending itself to an interesting conversation down the line when we try to play around with it. See if we can make it a little bit clearer.
God, I
easier
can't wait for us to start.
That's going to be the best.
The off-meta reworks. Sorry. What's next? So C, right?
We're going to try and build a script based off of all of our reworks as well. I feel like that could be.
I got a pretty strong list right now.
Yeah.
I would say I understand why y'all are putting in C, and I think it just on its face of what it does, I think it has to be given some credit for what it can do for the evil team, and maybe should be more in the B category, but I understand why y'all have it in C.
I mean, if you're saying B, I think Hayley and I are saying C, so that does bring it down to C. I could picture, so you're right. Going off the original criteria, as an evil person, do I want a politician in the game? It is probably an A. But come on, it's just so negative to play. It's not as fun as the goon. It's just so negative to even be that character. It's so much worse than almost, in my opinion, for me as a player who cares about other players in the game and wants to make sure everyone's having fun, it's a nightmare role to be. I don't ever want to be it. It might be the only character in this game I would never, ever, ever want to be as the. I will never play for evil if I'm stuck in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my last note is literally, I would literally rather be any other outsider.
So.
I think that's on the other players who are being negative towards the politician player. They're playing their role, and I understand that we are also looking at holistically and what a role does to the game, but I think players need to come down a little bit from that level of being salty that they didn't win, right, or that someone played the role that they were handed, and then trying to take that away from them. I don't think that that's particularly good form either, if we're being honest, and that's not the politician's fault. That's players being
humans.
Yeah. But all right. So C it is then, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, Ty. I do hear what you're saying, and maybe I'm gonna feel bad about this later, but I think that's.
I will say that if I saw a politician on a script, if a politician as an evil player, I would be much more excited about that than the Golem by a huge margin, just an incredibly high margin. Yeah, Golem's a freaking demon finder. Politician's just, kind of skeevy.
Perfectly political.
Perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's time for me to do a bit of reading. The Poppy Grower. Minions and demons do not know each other. Sad. How sad it is to not really know each other. Am I right? If you die, they learn who each other are that night.
That's me first this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think I've ever been in a Poppy Grower game where it was actually in play that I didn't love, genuinely. But have I been on the evil team in those games? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. It is a massively powerful bonus for the good team to essentially completely blind the evil team. Like, you take away so much from the evil team as a Poppy Grower. It's also kind of incredibly easy for the evil team to bluff as well, and maybe would get somebody evil to stay alive. Don't execute me on the Poppy Grower, and then evil will know who they are. It's an easy bluff as well. I do wonder if it is slightly overpowered. I do think it can make it a little bit too difficult for evil to win if the Poppy Grower is in play and manages to survive all the way through the game, because it adds in like potential friendly fire to, like, the demon could be killing their own minions and have no idea about it as well. The minions that have a kill could accidentally kill their demon. Like, it means that they can't organize as well. The evil team can't have those little whispers, but that's kind of why I like it as well, because it's one of those iconic Clocktower roles that just smashes apart their metas completely. Like, you're not whisper tracking if there's a Poppy Grower in play. You can't do that. Not today. I do think it's an A, just because I do think it's super powerful. Mechanically, it's probably an S for town. But for evil, I think it's just a little bit too powerful.
And that is why I like it. So I like characters and scripts that add, like, so I have a script named Moist, right? The reason that script is called Moist is because every player in that game is supposed to feel uncomfortable. The Poppy Grower is a key part of that. The Poppy Grower's ability makes evil uncomfortable and have to be very careful and very thinky about what they're doing, instead of just being roughshod over town. Just being whatever they want to do, they get to do it. It brings that level back. The poppy grower is also uncomfortable because they're like, I need to not look like the poppy grower and also not cause any confusion among town to make them think they need to kill me, because the longer I stay alive, the better it is. And I also don't want to be demon targeted. So this is a really tough, fun role for me to play. I like playing this role for those reasons. Evil might target evil. It's not an active role, but in terms of passability for good, it's great. Knowing the chaos I'm causing for good really does let me to say it's an S tier. I love it. I love it.
I have questions, but Tyler, it's your turn.
All right. So, as I'm going last, and a lot of the things that they've said that I'll identify my partners here. Have said is correct. I am not as big a fan of the harder for both sides thing that Adam does, because like in life, right? Like if you're like, oh, this is going to be hard on both the rich and poor. Well, guess who it disproportionately affects? The poor. So things that are both hard for good and evil are disproportionately hard on evil because they have the disadvantage in the game. They are the protagonist of the game. The Poppy Grower is great with Legion because they don't get control of the kills anyway, and it makes this fun little mini game where Legion goes around and they do these little. It's like Cold War spy tactics. You know, it's like, oh, you heard of the cows too? Oh yes, the cows are wonderful, especially the green cows. You know, there's a lot of coded language going on to see if someone's Legion or not, right? Which I think is really fun. Here are my downsides with the Poppy Grower. I have seen an abundance of scripts, which is not the Poppy Grower's fault, but it is something to be aware of, in which they get a Poppy Grower, a Philosopher, a Cannibal, and a Pixie on the same script. And there's so many iterations of the Poppy Grower running around that ultimately the evil team never gets an opportunity. They can't even think tactically well enough to ever get to learn who each other are. And I've seen players, demons, just go, hey, I'm the demon. I'm so tired of this game that I just execute me. That was a game I listened into on Unofficial one day, right? Because of this. And I think that is due to the, now it might be the player, but it's also due to the script. That is incredibly frustrating for no good reason, right? I think that the wording of the Poppy Grower in its ability text, that once you die, this thing happens, I think that causes a bunch of negative downstream outcomes. I think, for instance, the Poppy Grower should not be the one who's considered giving the information upon death, because then it affects what the Vortox, like it becomes Vortoxed info, which doesn't make any real sense to me. I think other people find that interesting, like, oh, what a weird legalese quirk. Did you know that in, 17th century England, if you put your shoes on backwards, you'd be sent to the brig? I didn't know that either. It's like one of those kind of like weird curiosities. Like, well, should we keep that as a law? No, we shouldn't. It's dumb, right? Just don't wear your shoes backward. It also means that, like, because it's a death effect, it is immune to it's actually essentially benefits from being pit hagged, right? Its power is locked in place forever if the pit hag turns it into something else, which seems counterintuitive to me. It gets a lot more benefit out of being turned into the farmer from a farmer death, which seems counterintuitive to me. And if the cannibal eats it and then the cannibal turns into something else, the ability is permanent once again, which seems, once again, I'm gonna say it again, that's counterintuitive to me. That's not like any other role in the game. A permanent status effect that occurs because you didn't do it right. Anyway, so as an ability for town, I think it's an S tier ability. I think in terms of that wording, it gives me some pause. I think the execution and the text of it is B tier text. I'm not saying it's a B tier role, but I would be more inclined to put it in A, because I genuinely believe it needs to be redefined. Its power needs to be redefined so that it allows for these other circumstances that are not edge cases, because it's an experimental role. It has no set script. It's bound to be put in scripts with these different roles. I think that's an issue.
Yeah, so let me talk about that for just 1 second, Hayley, if that's okay. Wait, is it me next? No, it was already. I've already gone.
That's it.
I
Yeah, just open discussion time.
I want to say, Tyler, everything you just said to me is absolutely fair. The difference between me to you and maybe me to most other storytellers is I don't take the Book of Ed as gospel. I use it as a guideline. I understand from my conversations with Steve that the way you should be running the game is what makes it the most fun for your players. So all those jinxes and stuff you talked about, I would instantly be implementing. Like I would never ever make it so that the poppy grower in those situations would not trigger to get the demon and minion, the true information in a Vortex game. That to me is not coming from there. It is coming. What is indicating to me is at the start of the game, information happens at this point. Now, I appreciate it's not going to be very straightforward or easy for Steve and that to create characters that have that level of wording. And I haven't read the almanac for what they put in there for the poppy grower, but everything you've just said is a logical decision in my worldview for the storyteller to have implemented your own jins, your own jinxes, your own, storyteller decisions of how this character should work. And that's what I would do in those situations. But that's all I want to say, which is why to me it's still S. But everything you've said in terms of how we should look at this for everyone, like 99% of the world's population is going to run this game if they ever play it, is the way you described it, right? So we should absolutely take that into account, and it should be dragged down because of that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in like the Clocktower Reddit community, people are asking questions in there about, for us who've been running the games for years, like it's intuitive to us, like we know what's going on. But for the questions that those people would have about Poppy Grower and how to run it, it's not going to become an intuitive, fun experience for them quickly and easily at all. Like it's only intuitive for Adam because he's been doing it for years, right? It's only that's the difference. That's the only difference, I think. And so that does absolutely drag it down. And I said A, but Tyler's kind of convinced me that it's actually down in B. Yeah.
Wow. Does Tyler think it's B?
I like I said, for me, it is. If you take away all those things from a script, right? If you put it on a script where those are not concerned, I think it's wonderful. I really do. I just think it would be as simple as changing the wording to something along the lines as long as this role is, as long as the Poppy Grower is in play, the demon and minions do not get, night one info or starting demon and minion info, something along those lines. People have brought up the puka, which causes the same issue because it's dead and poisoned. To have it be its ability that somehow it's providing the information instead of it being the blocking point, the thing that is taking away. I really think that's all that needs to be done, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that change is made, then I think it definitely goes back up to an S tier role. I think I would average them out and say, yeah, the phrasing bothers me. It is very powerful and does a lot of great things. I mean, we had a great Legion Poppy Grower game at Decepticon. I think that was a standout experience. I think it is. I've been the demon when a Poppy Grower has been played. That was a fun one because there was an atheist on script, and my minion very smartly, Kendra, shout out to you, bae, claimed atheist. And so I was like, oh, shit, I know who my minion is. I don't have to worry about this. And that freed us up a lot. I thought that was pretty fun. So there's a lot of neat things you can do with the right interactions on a script. But yeah, I mean, I think it has to be an A, kind of average out those problems, those flaws with the wording, with what the role can do on a script.
I think it would be an easy change as well, right? Minions and demons do not know each other. If the Poppy Grower dies or is no longer in play, they learn who each other are that night.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the wording becomes from the Poppy Grower itself. So the wording needs to be something like, needs to be changed in some way, shape, or form to indicate that starting information is now revealed, as opposed to that information coming from the Poppy Grower. And there's no wording right now that would allow, like, I've seen those conversations where I think there have been better jinx fixes out there than what was finally implemented, but they didn't want to implement it because they have no existing wording that aligns to that. even though I thought it was a better fix. And that's part of the problem that you get with the puppy growers, right?
So let me ask you this: if I said that the poppy grower was blocking the information instead of providing it upon death,
Yep.
What if it was poisoned? Would the evil team get the information then?
Are you in chat? Somebody, high electrical temperature, basically just said the same thing.
Oh no, I wasn't. Oh, hey, thank you, high electrical temperature. I wasn't quoting you because I wasn't in this chat, but yes.
While the puppy grower is in play, demons and minions do not get introduced to each other. You cannot be poisoned.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of, I've just taken Elma's suggestion and added that little bit at the end to it, but that's basically the fix to it, right?
Yeah, that came from YouTube, right?
That's right.
I wish I were coordinated enough
channel.
to have stock puppet accounts that agree with me online. That would be really smart. I mean, that Tyler, he's really handsome too. Oh, thank you.
Tyler, your beard's looking much better than the other Bens.
I got on camera. I was like, oh my gosh, I look ridiculously shaggy. Other Ben with the bad beard, gonna mock me mercilessly today.
So where are we putting this? B then for now? Is that what we're saying? I think it's S.
I think it's A based on the combination of those things, but it's just it's S with an asterisk. You know what I mean? It's and not like not the first night asterisk. I'm talking.
Well, kind of it is the first night asterisk fault that we need to fix. So kind of
that
is
the problem.
Yeah,
but yeah.
that's true.
All right, 8 minutes to go. All of the characters have been
what
rated
else
that we're going to rank today.
What else could we possibly talk about?
I'm feeling like this is a Hayley moment because Hayley, as we've talked about, me putting a ton of work into the playroom, you have handled everything on this part that we're going to talk about next. So please do not let me steal your thunder.
Oh, oh no! Now I feel like I'm under a spotlight. What a disaster! All right, so a couple of exciting things. I'm actually gonna. So the reason that we asked you to go to YouTube is that we can now monetize YouTube. We're big enough. We've reached that 5% mark. That's what Google told us anyway. Only 5%
Oh my god!
people.
We've reached that 5% mark. That makes us sound one of the people.
Well, we are. We're elite now. Google told us that only 5% of people that apply for monetization get it. So
on the first attempt.
On the first attempt. All right. Crikey. Jeez. And so we've also, because people have been asking for a long time how to support us, we've also launched a Patreon because, we don't want Twitch and Amazon to benefit from our entertaining selves. We've launched a Patreon. Patreon.com/offmetaplays. If you have the means and would like to support us, you like what we do, there are 6 different tier levels in there, ranging from $2 to $100. We'd love your support. It will allow us to continue doing things like this, to maybe expand on things like this and maybe do some in-person games where we can put together nice little real videos of real people playing together, the whole off-meta cast in one place.
Whoa, wouldn't that be a dream?
What a dream. What a dream. Yeah, so if you can help us, patreon.com/offmetaplays.
And we promise we won't take $70,000 to do it either. Just so you're all aware.
You had to get it in there, didn't you? You had to get it in there. So the way this loops back to the playroom is if you sign up to our Patreon at any tier, so the $2 tier is included in this as well, before September 1st, we will send you a little print copy of the Off-Meta Playroom as a thank you for being one of... You'll see if you go and look at the tiers names, I've called the first tier people OM fans, because that's who I am as a person. Yes, I am referencing OnlyFans. No, that's not the kind of content we create.
Not on this channel.
I don't have any problem. I don't do it. I'm not going to put it out there and invade your space with it. But if people are like, I just want to see your nipples. I mean, all right, man, whatever.
Donate $5, but you get it. You get it.
$5. I'm all right.
$5 per nipple, if you're asking me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're just getting one. You have to imagine the other one, or you double pay. No big deal.
So up on our Discord now is, including the links on Hayley's post on Patreon, this information is in both places, but also up in our Discord, in the community chat room, is the link to the Off Meta Plays artwork, as well as the link to the guest sheet. The guest sheet gives you 11 clues. Let me just open this so I can be correct. 11 clues about Off Meta content that is hidden inside the playroom artwork, and then there are 56.
Can you not do the math?
67 minus 11 is 56. 56.
That's right.
56 Clocktower tokens hidden inside this document. I am excited to see how many of them you find. So if you are in the process of completing your sheet, feel free, and you're like, oh my God, I've got like all of them apart from 4. I'm going to give you, first of all, well done. That's a great job. But also, feel free to send me it in a DM on Discord or wherever you want to try and send it, and because I would love to see how close you guys are getting. There are varying levels of difficulty of tokens that I'm going to switch over to the playroom again. There are various levels of difficulty. Wait, where's the playroom? Not there.
What
There
did
we
you
go.
do?
There are varying levels of difficulty of tokens that you will and won't be able to find in this little piece of artwork, and I hope you guys have fun trying to find them all. I'm going to post it up on Reddit shortly as well. I'm going to try and post it in a few other places. Have a whirl. Enjoy this. The Poppy Grow ended up in A, Capelli. It's your fault for not watching, just to be clear. Stop working. This is your hour lunch break. This is a piece of artwork. There are a bunch of tokens. There are varying levels of difficulty of them in there. Some of them are insanely crazy. One of them is broken up into pieces to try and find, so good luck with that. Otherwise, thanks everyone.
I think he changed my mouth this morning. I'm pretty sure.
That's been there for a while.
Spoilers.
Okay. All right.
Spoilers.
And you know, Adam is saying DM it to me and all that kind of stuff. We have a great community on Discord. If you want to come over to our Discord and you know, put it behind the little spoiler bracket so that people who are still searching, but if folks want to kind of do that as a fun little get together on what they found in it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Orthodontist is an S tier role. Whenever I write what that ability does, it's gonna be so good. So good.
And this is honestly all thanks to Blood on the Clocktower, and thank you so much to Steve, who graciously let us use the artwork for the prototype artwork to include it in the playroom.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know Steve is the person that created Blood on the Clocktower. Sorry, that was just a little internal joke. All right. I am done. I am waiting, sitting back now. I cannot wait to watch you guys have fun with this little thing. Hopefully you guys all enjoy it, and hopefully you find every single token and you know exactly what they are. But if you don't, you're still loved. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can access the image. It's free for you to access. You don't have to become a Patreon. The benefit of being a Patreon is that you get a print copy as well, basically.
A print copy with all the answers on the reverse side. Who knows when we're going to post the answers? They're not up there yet. I don't know. I want to kind of give people time to figure it out and have debates and discussions around it. Some people are going to find some, others aren't going to. I'm really curious about the, I just want to see that all play out. So I'm not posting the answers. I'm a big spoilers person, right? I don't watch trailers. I don't watch things. So I am looking out for all of you that are like me and hate spoilers by not posting the answers yet.
You'll post them on September 1st, though, right?
Yeah, I'll post them before the postcards go out for sure, or sometime in the meantime if everyone's guessed.
Okay.
Every single person on Earth is guessed. I will release the answers. That is my commitment to you.
So, Tyler, do you want to wrap us up and tell people like when we're next back on stream and all that kind of stuff that you do better than either Adam or I?
No one does it even better than me.
Okay, here we go again.
We will be back tomorrow. It was Wednesday. If you watched this last week, we introduced you to the Court of Miracles with Bree from Lucky Duck Games. That was a fun one. You can still watch that on VOD before it goes up on the YouTube. You can see us on YouTube at youtube.com/offmetaplays. That is the place to see all of the great content. If you want to go back into the podcast archive, see what we ranked things, What did these fools rank my favorite role? Well, go find out. We broke up all the base 3 scripts into different types of organizational methods based on townsfolk, outsiders, minions, and demons. So not this alphabetical nonsense, which has gotten in the way of us as fabled storytellers. I tell you what a wedge to come
Who is
between us,
this
the
us?
alphabet.
Who is this us? There is only one
Hayley
fabled
and
storyteller
I,
here.
Hayley and I are on one side of the divide, and Adam is on the other side of the divide because of the fucking alphabet. In any case, you can then see us play Clocktower on a Thursday, usually immediately following the TPI official stream. So we'll be on right after that, ready to play. And you can see all the lovely faces bluffing each other on a Thursday. That's going to be about 7 o'clock Eastern time, if that's your bag. It'll be we're going to have a week off from American Mythos. And then on next Sunday, that's the 7th, I believe. No, the 6th of August, we're going to be playing American Mythos again. And unfortunately, we might have to write June off for the episode because of Gen Con. But I'm sure it'll be worth it to Hayley.
Doing? She'll have so much paperwork to file.
Big spoilers for that. American Mythos is our role play stream in which we play a cosmic horror limited series, and we're using Forged in the Dark systems that we're kind of building around our players and our characters. So check that out. You can see the VOD, at least for session 2, is up right now. And then we're going to get the YouTube up as soon as we can. You can tweet us at Off Meta Tweets if you have thoughts about what we said or did today. You can hit us up there, or you can join our Discord, which does not have a convenient link for me to say out loud with my mouth because it's a series of numbers and letters that I cannot remember. And that's what we do. And you can see us again on Tuesday. Check us out live. We're going to be dual casting most of our product on YouTube and the Twitch. Despite what my friend said, we do reserve the rights to take those Bezos bucks at some point in the future. But right now, we don't want to show you no stinking ads. So we're not going to do it. Is that enough?
That was great. That was great. Thanks, everyone. I guess I wave.
Alejo is going to be up in 5 minutes if we want to get the Raider going.
Alejo, I need you to be up sooner because some of us have to return back to our day jobs.
I've got a meeting to join.
I'm going to send it on
Oh, you
over.
can do it with even though it's not live? Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here. See you all next time on Off Meta.
Which is tomorrow.